Hello, I'm Paul Turk, and the name of this talk is The Priceless Life of a Child. I was a trial attorney for 30 years. Trial attorneys represent plaintiffs and defendants. If you ask trial attorneys whether they prefer to represent plaintiffs or defendants, most would say it all depends on which party has the better case. Trial attorneys like to win. When a client first sits with a trial lawyer, the attorney takes copious notes. They pay great attention to detail. The facts are crucial. The attorney can't change the facts. He or she has to deal with them. No matter how much the lawyer wishes they were different, the facts will materially influence the outcome. When attorneys talk shop, they will say things like, "I have a bad case." And what they mean, of course, is the facts are more favorable to the opponent than the client. You have heard of trial attorneys who claim they never lost a case or that they only lost 2 or 3 cases in their career. Trial attorneys have a name for those attorneys. We call them lucky. No matter how good a trial attorney may be, they can't change the facts, so these guys or women somehow end up with the clients who always have the better facts or never take a case they think they might lose. Because a trial attorney spends his days sorting the good facts from the bad, this mental process can take over all of the lawyer's thoughts, with him or her visualizing every life event as presenting good, bad, and mixed facts. There came a time in my life that I had to deal with a family member facing a decision whether or not to terminate an unintended pregnancy. From an absolute moral standpoint, unintended pregnancy should not present a moral dilemma that needs to be weighed and decided. Life is sacred and inviolate. Once life is created, it cannot be terminated. End of story. But life is messy. God gave us human beings free will, and we do not always choose wisely. And unintended pregnancies give rise to a choice, to abort the baby or not. When a pregnant woman struggles with a life choice for her child, I picture it as a trial whose outcome will determine whether the child will live or be consigned to death. The facts in unintended pregnancy cases vary greatly. Some have better facts than others. Take, for example, a couple both 23 years old, college graduates, employed, of the same race and religion, sharing the same socioeconomic background, together for 2 years and intending to get married at some point in the future. She becomes pregnant and wants to keep the child. He wants to terminate the pregnancy so he can go to graduate school and improve his career. Looking at their dilemma through the lens of a civil trial, her attorney would tell the jury the pregnancy should continue uninterrupted since the couple intends to get married and have a family. And the family just arrived earlier than expected. His lawyer would say the child would block the father's ability to advance his career, that it was an impediment to him fulfilling his lifelong dreams. On balance, most attorneys would say these facts would present a good case for the mother keeping the child. But let's change the facts. Say the young woman was 18 and had just started college. Say her relationship with the father had just begun. Assume also the father was of a different race, a different culture, a different socioeconomic background. And to really make the facts more problematic, let's say the father had already fathered other children with other women. Few attorneys would want to take that case for the mother. Unless the jury was stacked with ardent pro-life supporters, he would likely lose. But how can you stack a jury with pro-life supporters? They are a minority in our country. And if the mother's attorney was lucky and got 1 or 2 in the jury pool, opposing counsel would use his right to dismiss those jurors without having to show cause. But let's say that at this trial with such bad facts that the mother came forward and told the judge that neither the judge nor the jury nor anyone but her had the right to decide the fate of her child. That in the mother's opinion there was no moral dilemma that needed to be adjudicated. And that she knew from the time she learned she was pregnant that she would give life to this child. Undoubtedly, the judge would gently question her before he dismissed the case. He would ask, "How will you support this child? Do you know you have the legal right to terminate this pregnancy without any legal consequence? Are you doing this of your own free will?" And let's say the woman satisfied the judge's questions and the case was dismissed. What would you think of this young woman? Would you think she was crazy, naive, ill-informed, unaware of the tasks that lay before her? Or would you think she was a hero, a young woman with a highly formed conscience who intuitively knew she was carrying a sacred life, and notwithstanding the impending challenges, she would bring that life forward. I do not know your answer, but let me tell you mine. My daughter is a hero. At the age of 18, she was able to make a decision that thousands of women choose not to make every day. She chose life for her child over death. And now my family has a precious grandson to share life with, a child who is a blessing from God to many people. And I give thanks to God daily for my daughter's decision to choose life for her son.